Here we go. Okay, you already know what it is. This is episode 3, part 2 to our podcast, our newest podcast on the platform of Facebook, and it is called That Is Your Opinion, because it is. And I'm here today with my co-hosts, Neshia Brown, Felicia McCray, and Kendra Johnson. And we are here to talk about a couple subjects that we was talking about the other day. I know y'all heard, our last episode and part 1. So we left off talking to Kendra and we left off with this question here. Should people who sexually assault children lose their reproductive rights? Kendra, how do you feel about that?
Yes, Benny. I feel, as I was stating the other day, that everyone deserves a second chance. I could see if they did it multiple times, then, because like I said before, no, your wrong isn't worse than my wrong, or you shouldn't be, well, you can't be lenient towards one wrong. Everybody has done wrong, and if he does it multiple times, then yeah,
Uh-uh.
then you cut the reproductive
Get it out.
organs, but not, firsthand, like not starting off.
Right, exactly. Okay. All right, Nisha, how do you feel about that? Nisha, how do you feel about sexual assault in children and rape? Should people who sexually assault children or rape people lose their reproductive rights? How do you feel about that?
Well, I agree with Kendra about that. Well, yeah, I know everybody deserves a second chance or whatnot, so I agree with her. Like on the first round, yeah, it's understandable. But in that type of situation, I don't even understand why you would do it the first time. But I feel that I don't know. I really don't know. It all depends on the situation of how the person, react on a child or touch a child or but I just personally think that they deserve a second chance, but I really feel like they have no business touching a child in the beginning. I mean, it's just like common sense. You should know better. You a grown man, and a grown man should know you shouldn't touch a child. A young child. You should wait till they're legal to be able to be touched. So I think it's wrong, and it's just not right. It's not right. So that's just my opinion.
Okay. Okay. Now, Felicia, how do you feel about this? What's your opinion on it? You think people who sexually assault and rape children should lose their reproductive rights? How you feel about that?
I feel the same way as other co-hosts on that subject. I do believe that eventually this state will come to doing something more about that, not being so lenient and give pedophiles and such chance after chance after chance.
Yeah.
They should be held to the highest, punished to the highest extent of the law. That's what I feel.
Okay. Man, like I said, that's y'all's opinion. I respect everyone's opinion. I'm not going to give my insight on every single question, but I definitely am going to give my insight on this question because we have the film coming out, Ain't Grown Yet. Ain't Grown Yet is really touching up on similar topics. It's talking about child molestation, it's talking about sexual predators and trafficking. I'm an advocate for trafficking. I'm also and have been for the last 4 years the president of Los Angeles Stop the Violence and Bully campaign. For those of you who do not know that, so I'm very big about rape, molestation, children, older people, elderly, the treatment that they receive, by their caretakers. And with that being said, I do believe that the first time that this is brought up, I believe that you get a chance, but I feel like it depends on what kind of chance. I feel like me, you need the only way you can correct something that demon like that is God. Ain't no program out here that can correct that. Ain't no way you gonna just say, okay, I'm gonna give you one more chance and they're gonna stop. That's not gonna happen. It has to be an intervention between that person and God to get that demon out of them because that's a demon, that's a spirit. So for me, I feel like the only way you can get that first chance is you're gonna have to be admitted to not a mental program, not a management, anger management program, but they need to have a program just for people who molest children. You see what I'm saying? And it has to be spiritual so they can get that spiritual connection. If you agree to get that spiritual connection with God and go through these classes, spiritual classes, and hopefully be delivered, then yeah, you can get a second chance. But if you do not agree to the spiritual side, then I feel like you should get whatever comes to you because that's the only thing that can help you change, a person change and get rid of demons is the power of, God, Yahweh, Elohim. Moving on to the next question, because we talked about that, birth control. Now, birth control is a very sensitive topic because a lot of people don't believe in birth control and a lot of people do. Actually, some people use certain types of birth control that has been controversy, such as abortion, Plan B. How do you feel about birth control, Kendra? Do you believe that birth control is your responsibility to take it? You should be taking it just because you know that, it's part of Planned Parenthood, or is it something that is a choice?
Well, me personally, birth control is exactly what the name says, control. And my thing is, people should have a choice, and it's your responsibility. Whether you're taking, being in healthcare, whether you're taking a medication or not, it's all in your mind. It's everything is about your mindset, your stamina, your strength. It's all within your mind. So you got to be strong enough to say, hey, no, I don't want to do this, or no, I'm gonna do it like this, or I'm gonna take the proper precautions to prevent this from happening. We all have been born to that age of accountability. So it's time for us to take accountability instead of trying to all these different remedies and just take accountability for our own actions.
Correct. Right. I value your opinion. I believe that as well. Felicia, how do you feel about that? Do you feel like birth control is your responsibility to take it just because, or is it a choice?
It's a choice. It's everyone's responsibility, but with that being said, it's still a choice. It's a choice between the partners if they're ready to, conceive or not. But it's definitely a choice. It's birth control. Control it.
Should you have a choice, Nisha, to whether you get on birth control or not? How do you feel about that? We've heard from Felicia, we've heard from Kendra. I had my mic off, my bad. Or do you feel like that it is a choice?
I feel like that it is a choice to either get on it or not. And I really feel like it shouldn't even be a choice either because that people are grown these days. Even for teenagers or something like that, they should now I feel like a certain age should have a choice, but not like, if they're a child trying to go out there and try to have sex at an early age, I feel like it should be a choice for them at a younger age. But as far as adults, I feel like they should know better as we as grown people should know how to maintain ourselves and control ourselves. Like they say, it's the word control that gets me, is because birth control by being under cause other problems. So why take something that's going to affect your body? Because you can get on birth control and then it can cause a problem to where you can't never have kids in your life. What if you and your couple or your mate, like Miss Felicia said, decide to want to have a child, and then you got these birth controls out here that's causing other problems to the body. So yes, I feel like it should be by choice and just only to a certain extent of an adult, but by choice for a teenager or something like that.
Hmm. Okay. All right. I love y'all's answers. That's why I love this show because we respect your opinion to the fullest. You know what I'm saying? You come on this show, we're going to value what it is that you have to say. We're not going to go back and forth. For me, I feel like this is one of the questions I want to talk about, birth control. I've never been on birth control in my life. Every pregnancy that I had, when I say plan, I don't mean Planned Parenthood, meaning that I got with my husband and I was like, oh, let's have a baby. He'd be like, okay, let's have a baby. And so it wasn't like, oh my God, it's an accident. Oh, what are we gonna do? No, we knew what we were doing. And so I've never exercised birth control. But how I see it, I feel like it's a choice. To me, I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe in birth control because, like Nisha was saying, the side effects, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like everybody has a choice of how they handle their reproductive organs, and it shouldn't be anyone up to anyone else but the woman and the man. Now, a lot of people will say, well, do you think the man, has some say so? I kind of think that the man should have some say so, because if you make a baby with that person, or y'all end up affecting each other, y'all share a disease with that person, it's not a one person decision. This is two-person decision. And if a person is to get pregnant, I feel like whatever choice that she makes should be between both of them. Kendra, we didn't talk about this yesterday. How do you feel about that? This is something I just wanted to bring up. Do you feel like if two people get together and they have a baby or get pregnant, and it wasn't planned or unexpected, do you feel like the man has a choice in that, or you feel like it should be the woman's choice or both people's choice? How do you feel about that, Kendra?
The man should have a choice as far as having the baby or being on birth control.
As far as what happens next, after she's pregnant and it wasn't planned, do you think that okay, now I'm pregnant, it's my decision, or should it be our decision?
No, it should be both the man and the woman's decision. But at the same time, it's a lot of the times where the man don't want the child, or maybe even the woman don't want the child, and you're not in agreement. And that's just like with any type of relationship that you're in or anything you're doing in life. You might sit there and be like, hey, let's go do this, and then it end up happening and both of y'all are not in agreement. So I feel like it should be the choice of both the man and the woman. But a lot of women feel like it's my body. Yeah, I
Mhm.
should make the decision. It's my child. I'm the one having to go through all the, having the labor and everything that comes with it. But at the same time, you didn't think about that when y'all were laying down together. So
Right, exactly. Exactly. Right. So with that being said, you're basically saying it should be up to both people, both parties.
correct.
Right. What about you, Felicia? Do you feel like it's just up to both parties if you do practice unprotected sex, no birth control, and someone ends up pregnant, or should it just be the mother's choice because it's her body? How do you feel about that?
Well, I feel that it technically wouldn't be fair um to the man if a woman just said, well, it's my body and I want to do whatever I want to. Well, if you conceive when you have a child, it's going to be both of you guys' responsibility. So therefore it should be both of you guys' decision on, when it's time to conceive, when to use birth control, when not to use birth control. I think long term and have some effects on a female body. But at the same time, I use it in one period of time because I just like how I regulate my menstrual cycle. I knew when it was coming for them few days and it was gone. So that was great for me in that sense. But that was again short term. But I do believe it should be a choice between both male and female.
Let's get it out you, Felicia.
Do you hear me, Anisha?
Yeah, I hear you
Now we
now.
can.
Okay. So a lot of times, women will say, oh, it's my body. This is my choice. I'm gonna do what I want to. How do you feel about that once you've made the decision to not use birth control and there is a conception you've conceived? Is it the woman's choice because it's her body, or is it both parties' decision? How do you feel about that, Nisha?
Once I done made that decision on that I don't want to be on birth control or nothing like that, and we both grown and decided to do this, so we supposed to be able to come to a agreement on if we're gonna keep it or not. And I feel like it's only right to allow the man to be able to have his say so in it just as well as myself, because that's just gonna be selfish of me if I was to just say, look, this is my body. I'm gonna do what I want with it all because it's mine, it's not yours. That's just not fair because he laid down and got that together. It wasn't no, by myself when I conceived. So I would like to take it up with him and we could just come to the agreement. But if we can't come to agreement, then it's something that we just gotta keep going it until we can get an agreement. That's the way I feel. So no, I don't feel like it's just up to me. I feel like it should be up to both parties.
Right. Okay. Well, those are some good opinions. Like I said, we respect everyone's opinion. Next question goes to Kendra. Now that we're talking about relationships and sex and intimacy and pregnancies unplanned, like timing, when it comes to timing of your intimacy in a new relationship, when do you know that it's time for you to go ahead and give up the cookies?
Well, it's all about, like I said, everything is all about your mindset and your mentality. When you were younger, you probably like it was just something to do or you just felt like doing it. But as you get older, well, in my opinion, as I've gotten older, it's more to it than that. You have to stimulate my mind, intrigue my mind before anything else. And once you can really, get my mind going and intrigue me in ways that I can't figure out on my own, as far as we're building something together, and you can actually bring something, because I am the table. So I don't need you to bring anything to the table or bring the table, because I'm already the table. I
Okay.
just need you to be able to bring something with it that'll make it stronger, that
Yes.
foundation that's gonna help me keep it up
Yeah.
and maintain it. Because I done took all these years building my own foundation. So all I need from that man is to come forth and sit there and help me maintain it.
That's it. That's it.
So as far as, timing is all about, like I said, your mind and your mentality. And as I've gotten older, now it's all about, us coming together and figuring out together, are
Mm.
we really wanting a sexual relationship, or is this something we want to, uphold as a serious relationship, or we want to take it further? It's coming to an agreement and being upfront and honest with each other.
Right. Okay. Well, I love y'all's opinions and I value that as well. We're going to move on to the next question. Once you have this child now, because we've talked about the relationship, the intimacy, how long we think we should wait. Now we have a baby. So once you have a child, is your life not about you anymore? Or are you able to continue with your life if you got a baby? How does this go for you? How do you think, Kendra, when you do become a mother, because I know right now you don't have any children, but when you become a mother, will your life be not about you anymore?
Well, like you said, I don't have any children right now, so I do feel for women that do have children. But at the same time, like I said the other day, it's all about balance. And it shouldn't, your world, your life should never stop just because a situation occur, or you was to have a baby, or anything, any changes occur in your life. You should always be able to have that self-care, that self-love, and be able to look out for yourself and not stop your life. But it should actually, should motivate you to keep going and want better and more for your life. That's what a baby should do. It shouldn't stop it. It's actually beginning when you have a baby. It's on mute.
So kind of like you're saying, like new chapter, like a new chapter for you. It would be.
Yeah, it's a new chapter, and you and your baby are gonna build that together, because your baby should motivate you to sit there and go harder, go stronger.
Yeah. Okay. See, that's why we got to get together and talk so we can get all everybody's insight, In order to make a soup, if we just put the meat in there and nothing else, we wouldn't have no soup, wouldn't have no taste or nothing. It'd just be some meat. But when you put all the other ingredients, which would be other people in it, now we have a whole meal. Now we're gonna get full. Now we're whole. So I love when women can come together and talk about things and value each other's opinion. You know what I'm saying? And we're not going back and forth. So we're gonna move on to the next question. And the next question that I have for you guys would be parenthood, Planned Parenthood. That was created, and you know why it was created, basically to, keep control of the population. And it's no news that healthcare, most of it is a business and it is all about healthcare and money. So do you feel like Planned Parenthood, you know, is more about healthcare, or do you feel like Planned Parenthood is just all about money, because we have cures and we've had cures to things, and we the ones that don't want to release it. And people come up missing when you start talking about, do some herbal stuff. People come up missing when you start talking about, it's a cure. We've witnessed it. It's proved. You know what I'm saying? It's proved already. And so I feel like myself, I'm gonna go first, that healthcare is really just a business and it's all about money. It's really not about the people. And it's the people inside of healthcare that stand out as individuals that enable, people's lives to be saved. How do you feel about that, Kendra? Because I know you're in healthcare. Tell me how you feel about it.
Healthcare has always been about money because, first of all, anything that involves you have to get insurance for, you can get it's a lot of times people that don't have insurance, they get kicked out of the hospitals or they don't get the same treatment as others that do have money or insurance, and it's not right. So the healthcare has always been a scam. It's always been business, in my opinion. It's always been about money because anything dealing with the government, anything dealing with the economy and making money for the government, it's a scam. It's all about what they can get for themselves and how they can kill off the people and make more for them. And all it's all about just really just killing people off. That's what I was saying about China, how they can only have 3 kids. And that's not fair. That's not right because we don't get a choice in our life. Because either way, if we were to get a choice, they're still going to find some type of way to sit there and tear us down or to get rid of us.
Mhm. Yeah.
So definitely healthcare is all about money.
Yeah, I agree. I really agree with that. Felicia, how do you feel about healthcare? Is it about money and business, or is it about healthcare?
Initially, when it was brought to the forefront, it was allegedly about healthcare. And I think they do a plethora of things along those lines with the female and male conception and a couple of other things. But at the same time, it's still a business. It's still a business. They do a bunch of giveaways, personal giveaways for boys and girls, men and women. But at the same time, it's a business. And the way it's been going for the past several years, it's just been showing itself more and more of that. The government can't decide on how many children you should have, the moment you should conceive, or use birth control, or even a decision to make whether you want to keep it or not keep the baby. You know, right is right, wrong is wrong, but it's not left up to anyone else, especially not the government. But it is a scam. I agree with Kendra. It's now becoming about that money. It's business. It's population control. So yeah, I think in the long short of it all, it's about money.
For sure, I think so too. I agree. Nisha, how do you feel about it? Healthcare, is it really healthcare or is it really just a scam, money,
I
business?
feel I feel the same way you guys feel because I do feel now I'm with everybody on this part on the part that it used to be better back then to say it would be about the health care back then, but now I just feel like it's most definitely about the money. I don't think it have anything to do with the health care at this moment. I think it's about them just making more money off of the health care by saying something about it or just for some advertisement to make everything look good. But I most definitely think it's about the money.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like it's about the money and not the people. and I feel like it's also about the leaders and the leadership that we have today
Right.
and the agenda, that they have for even running for office, because you never know a person. The word talks about how, the devil come in sheep's clothing, which is what we are witnessing with Trump at this present time. He had the right words, he had the right speech, he had the right money, you know what I'm saying? But guess what he didn't have? He didn't have the right heart. He didn't have the right love.
Right.
It wasn't
It
genuine.
ain't like it used to.
Yeah, it was all about business. And so and it was all about money. You know what I'm saying? And that status. And so we're gonna move on to the next question because I don't want to be too long. And I'm asking y'all not to be too long, so I can't be a hypocrite. So the next question that we're gonna talk about now we're talking about healthcare. Let's talk about pork. I know that when our grandmothers were growing up, they could eat pork, they could eat anything. And they live to 80, 90. And now you can't eat chicken, you can't eat pork, you can't use toothpaste, you can't do anything because, like I said, population control. We all know what it is. This is real talk right here. Okay. And so I feel like what I'm going to do is just eliminate all the things that I know. To know better is to do better. So do you eat pork, Felicia? And how do you feel about eating pork? Why do you eat it if you do, and why not? If you
I
don't.
eat it because I like it.
Okay, so
It's
you eat
good to
pork.
me. Point blank, period. I know what the Bible says about pork and swine, and a lot of Muslim religions preach against that, and they speak against it because they follow what's in the scripture, and I understand that as well. I don't eat a lot of it because, like you're saying, our elders could eat just about everything, but at the same time, too, they were making things from scratch. They had cattle, they had their own meat, they had their own pigs, they had their farms. They was raising their animals, and that's what's different than what's being bought in the stores, reprocessed and added with all these infirmities and everything like that. It's not good for our bodies. It's not good at all, even down to the vegetables. So I tend to, but I have incorporated other meat as well to get off of that, but it's just not good for the body. So, but what's not good for our body these days if we let the government say so.
So you eat pork.
So that answers that.
Okay, so you eat pork. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Yeah.
Okay, and Nisha, what about you? Do you eat pork? You have pork on your fork? Let
I
us know.
don't. No, I don't. To be honest with you guys, I don't care for pork. I do not eat it. No, I don't. I don't eat pork at all. I just feel like it's not good. It's a lot of stuff that's not good. I can't just speak on it from everybody else's point of view of that part, but I just don't eat it. I don't deal with it. Certain stuff that I eat and certain stuff that I just don't eat. I
Okay,
don't feel like good at all.
okay.
Mhm.
Kendra, what about you? Do you eat pork? You got pork on your fork at your house? What's going on over there?
I'm gonna be honest. I used to love pork. Man, I used to love me some ham, some good old bacon. But it's like now, like I say, as you get older, your taste buds aren't the same, and things aren't the same anymore like they were back in the day. And they put so many toxins and they add so many additives to the food now, and it's not healthy. Nothing's healthy anymore. Like Felicia was saying, like Nisha saying, like nothing's truly organic. So myself personally, I would lie if I say I don't eat pork. And a lot of times nobody know what they're really eating. To be honest with you, you go to all these restaurants, you don't know what you eating. You could be eating pork and not even know it. But I mean, myself personally, I eat it every now and then because I love me a good loaded baked potato, and I might get me some bacon bits on it.
Yeah.
So I'd lie if I say I don't completely eat it, but I have abstained from it. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so we are down to our last 6.5 minutes, and we have one more question that I want to ask pertaining to our health and healing and things like that. because some people take medicine, some people don't. Some people take herbs, some people just smoke, some people just drink alcohol because some people say the homeless, some of the homeless people are healthier than we are, because they drink alcohol all the time. Their immune system is adjusted to all temperatures. So at the end of the day, it's all about your opinion. And I want to know about your opinion. Do you think that marijuana, which sometimes is a choice of relaxation, stress reliever, helps with anxiety, definitely cancer patients, a lot of them are recommended medical marijuana. Do you think that marijuana, which is weed, should be legal everywhere? Kendra, how do you feel about that?
I truly believe that marijuana should be legal everywhere. And not just speaking for myself, I'm speaking for everyone because if they can make medical marijuana, that means it's good for something. Make it make sense. Why would you make it something illegal that even doctors prescribe it to people? It helps with glaucoma, it helps with all these different things. And people don't look at that. They're looking at, oh, well, it does this to you. But at the end of the day, if you look at alcohol, caffeine, all the other stuff that's out here in the world, you're not thinking about all the side effects and things that it's doing to the body. But you want to think about this one thing that everybody they don't like because people are making money off of it. They're sitting here and it's really popular and it also helps at the same time. And they don't like that. And you can grow it. So they're trying to understand how that they can sit there and come up off of something we can actually grow instead of something that's coming from the government, something that's man-made. It's not man-made, so they don't like that.
Exactly. And I know you finished. I believe you're finished. But like you said, the key word is they can grow it. So if you can grow it yourself, there's no way they can keep it with how much money you're making, how much product you're producing. So they're trying to figure that part out. You know what I'm saying? Think
Exactly.
about over here in Los Angeles, we can walk right across the street and get, weed anytime we want to. We can smoke with the cops that's coming by in front of the cops. It's not illegal, and Felicia, I know you live in Memphis and it's illegal there, but don't you think it would be a little bit more peaceful if marijuana, was legal everywhere? Should marijuana be legal everywhere, Felicia? Well, tell us what you thinking.
Yes, it should. It
All
should be
right,
legal everywhere. Again, we can grow it. It's from the earth. It's really a natural plant or leaf, if you will. And it helps with, like Kendra said, glaucoma. It helps with cancer patients. You know why? Because of pain. It helps with pain. A lot of people smoke it because they're in pain. They want that relief. Why not make it legal? I think they look at it more so as a narcotic, but they're not paying attention, or they kind of overlook the fact that cocaine is in Coca-Cola beverages, but they're making money on that. That's a big old industry. That's why people, I gotta have my Coke. Give me a Coke. I gotta have my Coke. I had my Coke today because you low key have maybe a little addiction.
Yep.
So, they want to shun upon marijuana, but it's nothing to be afraid of. And I think it will help temperament in Memphis and everywhere else that is not legal yet. So yes, they need to make it
The
legal
same
everywhere.
thing. I believe the same thing because I see the difference, and from being over there and being over here. And it doesn't matter, what your status is, whether you're high class, middle class here, you'll see anybody just smoking weed because here you can do that. And so you're able to see the real person instead of being around a bunch of fake people that's hiding their true identity. You know what I'm saying? Nisha,
Right,
how you
right.
feel about marijuana? And I know you in Memphis and Memphis, Mississippi, a lot. So should marijuana be legal everywhere? And do you think that that would help? Because I know it's a money thing. So you tell me what you think.
To my opinion about that, I'm gonna be honest, you guys. I don't even smoke at all. I don't do it. But I be knowing people that does it. My son actually one of them. But what I think about it is that I think that it's okay to make it legal. And the reason why they feel like they shouldn't is because they feel like in their mind, so many people try to abuse it, being since they got it for medicine and things like that for cataracts and stuff like that, they figure they can stop it because due to that reason, people's not using it for the right reason. So that's why they making it so hard to make it legal. But yes, I do feel like it should be because it's there to help with eyesight, vision, or whatever the case may be. It's really there to help people. It might calm others in a different way from it might calm another certain person. So I feel like it should. I don't think it should be nothing wrong with it not being, legal. That's just my opinion. I don't even smoke, but I just feel like it's nothing wrong with it. They make anything else, so why not make that legal?
Okay, well, we only have a few seconds left, maybe like 40 seconds. So I'm gonna ask you guys, just say yes or no. Do you think people should go to jail for personal marijuana use, Kendra? Do you think people should go to jail or serve time for personal marijuana use, Felicia?
No.
What about you, Kendra?
No.
What about you, Neshia?
No.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Just come on, make it legal. Now we have ended episode 3 of That's Your Opinion with your host, Benji LynnYahweh, and it has been good. And your co-host, Neshia, Felicia, and Kendra. Join us next week, same time.